Welcome to the course Design of Reinforced Concrete Structures. Myself, S. Krantavijaya, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Civil Engineering, Vignan Institute of Information Technology, Duvvada. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss regarding the doubly reinforced beams and the need of doubly reinforced beams. So first we will see what is meant by doubly reinforced beam. So, a doubly reinforced beam is a beam which is reinforced in both tension as well as compression zone. That is, if a beam is taken and in the beam the reinforcement is provided in the tensile zone as well as the reinforcement is provided in the compression zone, then such a kind of beam is called as a doubly reinforced beam. So, if somewhere at this point, if we'll take a section, so how will the doubly reinforced beam section looks like? It looks like this. That is reinforcement in the tensile zone and reinforcement is also provided in the compression zone. So this is going to be the doubly reinforced beam section. So here you can see the doubly reinforced beam section where reinforcement is there in the tensile zone as well as the compression zone. So the reinforcement in the tensile zone is denoted as AST. AST is nothing but the area of steel in tension, and the reinforcement in the compression zone is denoted as ASC. ASC is nothing but the area of steel in compression. So, AC is the area of steel in compression zone and AST is the area of steel in the tensile zone. Now we have seen what is doubly reinforced beam. So, what is it? Now let us see what is the need of designing the doubly reinforced beam. So, why we have to design the doubly reinforced beam? Now let us see why we need to design the doubly reinforced beams. So, in the previous lectures, we have already seen what is meant by a singly reinforced beam. So, first let us take the example of a singly reinforced beam. So, what is a singly reinforced beam? A singly reinforced beam is a beam in which the reinforcement is present in the tensile zone. So, here let us draw the singly reinforced beam section where the reinforcement is provided in the tensile zone. So what? This will be the breadth of the beam. This distance is going to be the effective depth D, and this distance is going to be the overall depth D. So, in the previous sessions, we have already calculated the moment of resistance for a singly reinforced beam, which is MU limit. So that is the maximum moment which this particular singly reinforced section can carry for this particular depth D. So when we have to design a doubly reinforced beam, if the moment due to the load acting on the beam exceeds the moment of resistance of singly reinforced beam. So what? If the moment due to the load which is acting on the beam, if it is more, that is, if mu is greater than the moment of resistance of singly reinforced beam, that is mu limit. So if mu is greater than mu limit, then what? From this what you can observe? That this is the moment carrying capacity of this particular singly reinforced section. This is the moment, okay, due to the load which is acting on the beam. So what? The moment due to the load acting is more than the carrying capacity, moment carrying capacity of that particular singly reinforced beam section. So what will happen here? As the moment is more due to the load, obviously the beam will fail, isn't it or not? So in such cases, what we can do is, there are two alternatives what we can do. One thing is to increase the depth of beam, and the second one is to provide additional steel in the compression zone. So here what? If suppose, if the moment which is due to the load acting on the structure is some 450 kilonewton meter, and the moment of resistance of this particular singly reinforced beam section is some 250 kilonewton meter. So what? There is an extra moment which has to be carried by that particular beam, isn't it or not? So what is the extra moment which has to be carried by the particular beam? Mu minus mu limit, which is 200 kilonewton meter. So to carry that extra moment, what we have to do? Either we have to increase the depth of the beam, that is, the depth of the beam has to be increased, that is, we have to provide the larger depth of the beam so that the extra moment can be carried. Or the other thing what we can do is, we can provide the additional steel in the compression zone. So the other thing what we can do is, for the same depth of the beam, we can provide the additional reinforcement in the compression here. So these are the two alternatives what we can do. Here what we are doing, we are increasing the depth, that is, increase the depth. So these are the two alternatives what we can do, so that we can improve the moment carrying capacity of that particular beam. So when do we design the doubly reinforced beams? So when the first thing is, when mu is greater than mu limit, okay, when mu is greater than mu limit, then what we have to do to carry the additional moment, that is, the additional moment here is how much? It is 200 kilonewton meter. So to carry that additional moment, what we will do is, we have to provide the extra reinforcement in the compression zone. So then such a type of beams can be called as the doubly reinforced beams. Why? Because the reinforcement we have provided in the tensile zone as well as the compressive zone. So that is one case in which we have to design for the doubly reinforced beam, that is when mu is greater than mu limit. So either we have to provide the reinforcement, or either we have to increase the depth of the beam, that is, keeping the same reinforcement here, we have to increase the depth of the beam. So these are the two things what we can do. So now what? till now these are the points what we have discussed. That is when the applied moment is greater than the moment of resistance of a singly reinforced beam. So what are the two things we can do? One thing is either to increase the depth of the section, and the other thing is we have to provide the steel reinforcement in the compression zone, so that we can improve the moment carrying capacity of that particular section. Now let us see the necessity of doubly reinforced beams. So the doubly reinforced beams are provided when the depth of the beam is restricted due to architectural and usability considerations. That is, previously we have already discussed that if to increase the moment carrying capacity of that particular section, we have to increase the depth of the section. So for any reason, it might be any reason, if we want to restrict the depth of the section, that is the depth of the section is, if it is restricted, either it might be due to the architectural considerations, or it might be due to the usability consideration, then what will happen? Let us see now. So if the depth of the beam, if it is increased to carry the moment, so what it will happen? So all this part is under compression, that is all the compressive forces are taken up by the concrete and all the tensile forces are taken up by the steel. So due to any reasons, if the depth of the beam is restricted, that is the depth of the beam, if it has to be reduced. So if I have reduced the depth of the beam, so what is happening here? The compressive zone area is being reduced. So as the compressive zone area is being reduced here, the concrete will reach its permissible stresses first. What? The concrete reaches its permissible stresses first. So if concrete reaches its permissible values first, what it will happen? The concrete will fail first, which is not a good sign. As concrete is a brittle material, if concrete fails first, the failure will be sudden and it doesn't give any warning. Why? Because here we are reducing the compressive area. So that what is happening here? Here the compressive area is being weakened. As the compressive area is being weakened, so what it will happen? It will reach the permissible values first, permissible stresses first, and it will fail, which is not good. Is it or not? So when there are restrictions to the depth, in such kind of cases, by reducing the area, and that is by reducing the depth of the section, and by providing the steel in the compression zone, we can improve the moment carrying capacity of that particular section. So the doubly, so here what we have got? We have got a doubly reinforced beam. So a doubly reinforced beam can be designed when the depth of the beam is restricted. So if the depth of the beam is restricted, then what? We can design for a doubly reinforced beam by introducing steel in the compression zone, so that the moment carrying capacity of this particular section can be improved. So that is one necessity of designing a doubly reinforced beam. And the other need is when the moment due to loading, it exceeds the maximum moment of resistance of a singly reinforced beam for the depth. That is, if mu is greater than mu limit, that is the moment due to the load, if it is greater than the moment of resistance of that particular singly reinforced beam section, then also what we have to do, the reinforcement should be provided in the compression zone so that the extra moment from this can be carried by the compression reinforcement. So if mu is greater than mu limit, then also we have to design for a doubly reinforced beam section. And the next necessity where you have to design a doubly reinforced beam is when the external loads occurring on the beam member is in the reversal direction. That is, for example, let us consider a plain concrete beam. So what, when some load is acting on this particular beam, what is happening here? The topmost portion is under compression and the bottommost portion is under the tension, isn't it or not? So what is happening here? The beam is bending like this. The beam is bending like this. So here it is compression and here it is being the tension. So as concrete it is weak in tension, the reinforcement is being introduced in the tensile zone. So the reinforcement is introduced in the tensile zone because this is going to be the tension zone. So here we have introduced the reinforcement. If suppose either due to wind or either due to the seismic forces, if the load is applied in the reversal direction, that is, if the load is applied, that is the external load, if it is applied in this direction, what will happen now? This bottom part will be in compression and the top part will be in tension. Okay, isn't it or not? So then what? We have to provide reinforcement in this zone also. So, and the reinforcement will be provided in the tensile zone also. So if what? If there is an reversal of the external loads which are acting on the structural member, so in such kind of cases we have to go for the design of doubly reinforced beam, so that for both the loads these reinforcement are going to resist. So when are we going to use the doubly reinforced beam? The design of doubly reinforced beam is done when the depth of the beam is restricted. We are going to provide the additional reinforcement in the compression zone, and the other one is when mu is greater than mu limit, then also we have to provide the reinforcement in the compression zone to resist the extra moment which is acting, and the other one is when the loads are reversing, that is the loads are acting on the reversing direction, then we have tension on both the faces, then also we have to go for the design of the doubly reinforced beams. So in the next lecture we are going to discuss regarding the analysis of doubly reinforced beams. Thank you.